Ronald Wilson Reagan, born on February 6, 1911, in Tampico, Illinois, stands as one of the most iconic and transformative figures in American history. His journey from a small-town radio announcer and Hollywood actor to the 40th President of the United States reflects a uniquely American story of optimism, reinvention, and political courage. Reagan's leadership in the 1980s reshaped U.S. conservatism, foreign policy, and economic strategy, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to influence politics today. Raised in modest circumstances, Reagan grew up in Dixon, Illinois, where he developed a love for public speaking and storytelling. After graduating from Eureka College with a degree in economics and sociology, he began his career as a radio sports announcer in Iowa. His warm, authoritative voice and natural charisma soon caught the attention of Hollywood. In 1937, he signed a contract with Warner Brothers and embarked on a two-decade acting career. Though he never became a top-tier leading man, Reagan appeared in over 50 films, including Knute Rockne, All-American 1940, where his portrayal of football hero George Gipp and the famous line "Win one for the Gipper" earned him lasting popularity. During World War I, Reagan served in the U.S. Army Air Forces, mostly making training films. After the war, his role as president of the Screen Actors Guild SAG from 1947 to 1950 marked his entry into politics. He navigated the Union through turbulent times, including the Hollywood blacklist era and labor disputes, sharpening his negotiation skills and solidifying his anti-communist stance. By the 1950s, he hosted General Electric Theater, a television anthology series, traveling across America and refining the folksy, optimistic rhetoric that would later define his political appeal. Reagan's formal political ascent began in the 1960s. A former Democrat, he shifted to the Republican Party during the 1950s, energized by conservative ideals of limited government, free markets, and strong national defense. His nationally televised 1964 speech, "A Time for Choosing," in support of Barry Goldwater's presidential campaign, showcased his oratorical power and introduced him to millions as a rising conservative voice. Buoyed by this momentum, he ran for governor of California in 1966 and won, defeating incumbent Pat Brown. As governor, he tackled budget deficits, reformed welfare programs, and oversaw responses to campus protests and social unrest experiences that prepared him for the national stage. In 1980, Reagan secured the Republican nomination and defeated incumbent President Jimmy Carter in a landslide, riding a wave of public dissatisfaction with economic stagflation, high interest rates, and the Iran hostage crisis. His inaugural address captured the tone of his presidency, a call for optimism, reduced government intervention, and renewed patriotism. Reaganomics, or supply-side economics, became the centerpiece of his domestic agenda. Tax cuts, deregulation, and reduced social spending aimed to stimulate investment and job growth. Though controversial and initially accompanied by a recession, the policies eventually fueled a prolonged period of economic expansion throughout the 1980s. On the world stage, Reagan took a hardline stance against the Soviet Union, famously labeling it the evil empire. He increased military spending, supported anti-communist movements in Latin America and Afghanistan, and championed the Strategic Defense Initiative SDI, a missile defense program. Yet in his second term, he pivoted toward diplomacy with Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. Their summits in Geneva 1985 and Reykjavik 1986, followed by the 1987 Treaty, marked historic steps toward nuclear arms reduction and helped ease Cold War tensions. Reagan's 1987 speech at the Berlin Wall, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall," became a defining moment in the eventual collapse of communist regimes in Eastern Europe. Reagan's presidency was not without challenges. The 1983 Beirut barracks bombing, which killed 241 U.S. Marines, and the 1986 Iran-Contra affair, in which administration officials secretly sold arms to Iran and diverted funds to Nicaraguan rebels, sparked congressional investigations and damaged his administration's reputation. Yet his personal popularity remained high, in part due to his communication skills, humor, and ability to connect with the American public. His recovery from an assassination attempt in 1981 only bolstered his image as a resilient and likable leader. After leaving office in 1989, Reagan retired to his California ranch, enjoying time with his wife, Nancy, and writing his memoirs. In 1994, he announced he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, a condition that gradually withdrew him from public life. His diagnosis raised national awareness of the illness and inspired advocacy and research efforts. He passed away on June 5, 2004, at the age of 93, becoming the longest-lived U.S. president at the time. Ronald Reagan's legacy is both celebrated and debated. Supporters credit him with restoring American confidence, revitalizing the economy, and winning the Cold War. Critics point to rising income inequality, cuts to social programs, and the expansion of the national debt during his tenure. Yet few dispute his rhetorical brilliance and ability to articulate a vision of America as a shining city upon a hill. His optimism, faith in free enterprise, and belief in American exceptionalism redefined modern conservatism and influenced generations of leaders. Today, Reagan remains a towering figure in American politics. His image adorns monuments, airports, and military vessels, and his speeches are studied for their clarity and emotional resonance. From radio announcer to Hollywood star to two-term president, his life embodies the power of storytelling, perseverance, and belief in a brighter future. Ronald Reagan not only shaped an era, he helped define what it means to be an American optimist in the modern age.